Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Hey, my name is John Davis. I used to be able to say I'm the mayor, but I am the former mayor, but these guys have been very generous to let me run the beginning of the meeting tonight. So would like to ask you to help me. Go to your cell phone, and I actually got to do it too, so put your phone on sleep or quiet, turn it off, whatever it is you got to do. And if you have a sidebar, like Miss Joan, because Miss Joan's going to be coming up and helping me, and she's been picking on me for 7 years, so I get to pick on her once. Right, Miss Joan? Go ahead. Go ahead. Did you just bite your tongue? First time? Okay. But no, if you need to have a sidebar, which is, that little discussion to your neighbor, if you would take it outside, close the doors behind you. And if you have to have a phone call, we know it's 2024, almost 2025. If it's an important phone call, please also take it out, close the doors behind you. That way, look, a lot of us up here, we're getting hearing impaired. It's hard for us to hear. So just bear with us. If you could help us with those rules, that would be great. Okay, and we're going to get started here in about 30 seconds. We got to get to public comments. Oh, you got it? Huh?
I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. As y'all see, John's helping start out the meeting. He's been I figured I don't need him. He's been long-standing, helping with the town. So out of respect, we asked him to help us with these proceedings and giving out the awards and recognitions that we'll be giving out. So he's going to help us with the opening prayer and Pledge of Allegiance, and then we're going to go to public comment and adoption of agenda and minutes. And so we'll start out with the prayer and pledge. John?
All right, everybody, please stand, remove your cover. Father in heaven, thank you. Thank you for the privilege to stand behind this dais one more time. Thank you for the privilege of serving with some really good people. Lord, thank you for being able to serve the people that are here today, just fantastic residents and members of the community, and that we get to recognize some of these folks. We thank you for our teachers who lay it on the line every day with just a very tough environment. And we thank you for the Sam Bland Award, and that we get to recognize some really awesome people tonight and that have served the town. And we look forward to that. And so, Lord, we just ask you bless this meeting. And, Lord, I pray that the commissioners would just have wisdom and good thought in making decisions for our town that we are blessed with. In Jesus' name, amen. Join me with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we've got a
Yep,
couple
so-
signed up. Oh,
yep.
go ahead, sir.
No, yep, so we're going to go to public comment. John, I'm going to let you handle that if you'd like.
All right, yes, sir. All right, so we'd like to invite up Miss Ann Schuler for public comment.
Do you want to do it at the end? Let's do it at the end then, yeah.
All right, would anybody else, tradition has it that even though if you didn't sign up, that we'll allow you to speak? All right, Bill, if you would please close public comment.
So we're going to close public comment. We're going to go to appointments, recognitions, and presentation. Nope, we're going to go to adoption of agenda and consent items first. And we're going to amend to add a closed session to our agenda. And so to the closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11, Section A, number 3, to consult with an attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorney and the public body, which privilege is hereby acknowledged, and to establish or to instruct the public body staff or negotiating agents concerning the position to be taken by or on behalf of the public body in negotiating the price and other material terms of a contract or proposed contract for the acquisition of real property by purchase, option, exchange, or lease. So we're going to add that to the agenda. Could I get a motion to adopt the agenda and the consent items?
So moved.
Okay, could I get a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Discussion? Okay, it's already been approved, so we're good to go. Now we're going to move to John. You're going to do the presentations for us? No.
All right, folks. So once a year, we have the privilege as a town to do the Sam Bland Award. And a quick summary of the Sam Bland Award for the town of Swansboro is basically that person, and that person does not have to be a resident, but it's that person who has taken care of the town, who has served the town, who has done things to make our town better, to make it the special place that it is. This person we usually like when we get back in the back room and we start discussing how much time have they invested into our town? What's been the impact of their lives on our town? How have they handled adversity? How have they handled adversity for the town? How have they stepped forward and been leaders for our town? And I think we will find that this couple, if you may, has demonstrated these elements. Let me start out with just saying they're just good people. They're people you want to be around. They're people you want to listen to. They're people you want to ask their advice. They're people that when they give you the advice, that you want to adhere to their words because you know that they've been well thought out. These two individuals, one in particular, have been in Swansboro all their life. They were responsible for creating Bicentennial Park. For me, as I'm reading this, some of this I didn't know. They were responsible for reactivating the Swansboro Historic Association from 2000 and 2008 and were members through 2017. They were responsible for regenerating our tours, responsible for doing historical presentations. They were responsible for creating our Swansboro Area Heritage Center. Who's been to the Heritage Center? If you haven't been, you need to go. It's amazing. They were responsible for saving several Swansboro historical structures. the Alex Moore House, the Tucker Lillington House, and the Bartley Privy are also known as the post office. I'm still learning on that word privy. I thought that was a bathroom at one time. But that's wrong, right? I think they might know who they are. They have served on the planning board, the town feasibility study committee, the downtown revitalization Renaissance committee. They have served. And I think that's when you boil down the Sam Bland Award into everything that I've said, they're servants. They have served our town. It is my privilege to ask to come to the front to the 2024 Samuel Swan Bland Outstanding Community Service Award, Bob and Ann Schuler. If I may, I would like, so I asked a couple of the commissioners, and we felt, 7 years I've been doing this, and we felt that this one here, that all of the commissioners would like to be a part of this presentation because of y'all's dedication, basically all of your lives to the town of Swansboro. So before I give this to you, I want to invite the board to come down around, get behind you, and then I would like to present it, and then should we let Mr. Bob speak? I knew you'd keep it simple. Right? Yeah. I will. I'm gonna ask y'all to step over. All right, so, all right, and then we have flowers for you if you want to present the flowers. there is, makes my heart proud.
Because I have a little project I work on right behind the house, and people walk by. So many of you stop and speak, and it's really been great. I've had a lot of exposure to citizens while I do what I call is my piddling, working on the various projects that I have back there. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you for this.
That's what I thought I was coming for tonight.
Did Bill tell a fib? Did Bill tell a fib?
He said they were going to talk about it some more.
Well, well, Miss Ann, what I'd like to do is I believe the commissioners would also like to say a word or two about you guys, and if you allow, I'm going to pass the microphone to them when it comes back. And there's a party in January or February that they will be celebrating you, where you'll be able to bring family and friends to celebrate your nomination and your award. So we look forward to that as well. And so I'm going to turn it over here with ladies first.
Well, first time Bob and I met was on the planning board. And I don't know if you remember this, but one of the things you said to me, and it was my first time on the planning board, you said, just remember, you vote for what the citizens want. That's why you're here. And I appreciate that, and I've always remembered that. Thank you for your service, both of you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And my first interactions was with the Historic Commission. I remember, where is Amelia at? She's over here somewhere. There she is. You know, she told me, she said, you know, if you really want to know what's going on, talk to Ann and Bob. They have all the answers. And if they say this is what we need to do, by gosh, we need to do it. And I tried to live up with that, and I know this is what the people wanted. You're more than deserving. In my opinion, this should have happened a long time ago. Thank you.
So much, and thank you for what you do for Sharonsboro.
I would say this award is long overdue. And I was privileged to cast a vote for this award for you. Because one thing I've tried to model myself after in the service is service to this town. And you definitely have the heart of a servant. God bless you both.
Yeah, and I just want to thank you guys, both man and woman. Thank you so much for what you do. You do a lot that people don't know about. The land you let the city use as a park, all the restoration and historical stuff you've done. But thank you, and I want you to know I'm not the only one that's the culprit in this deception. That there's there's a couple other people involved that may be like family members too, you know. So just keep that in mind. But thank you for coming in. Thank you so much for what y'all do.
Bob and Ann, the first time I met you, first time I seen your presence and kind of felt the impact of the two of you was when your son was here and we were talking about an ordinance that we wanted to pass, and you guys gave a very strong opinion of it, and I really appreciate that because I kind of had the same opinion. So I thought it was a great opinion. But this is too long in the making, and I truly appreciate everything you've done, everything people have told me you've done. I'm a short-time person here, but you know, your reputation precedes you by miles. Thank you.
Stay, got one more thing.
Given us a lot of information that we can pass on through the years. Of course, I grew up with history all around me and folks talking about the town. When you're a teenager, though, a small child, you don't pay attention to some of those things. But then a lot of it comes back and you start appreciating it. It's just like the houses in Swansboro. Of course, we love the history, we love the buildings, but when I look at all these buildings in Swansboro, I think about the people. I look at the houses and I see the people. I look at the stores. I think about times gone by and those precious people standing there and their lives lived in this town and their love for the town. And that's rubbed off on me too. And so I'm so glad that I can pass on the things that I have grown up with and learned. And I hope some of it will be of help and inspiration to everybody else. And we love all of you.
Amen. So, Ann, we're not done yet. So, Bob, if you'll go back with Miss Ann. So one of the things that we love being able to do in Swansboro is be in a community and being able to do some partnering. And this is one of our opportunities to be partners. The Swansboro Historic Association is here, and we are proud of them and what they've done, and they have a small gift for you as well. So come on now. And I think Miss Joan might even speak. All right, Mayor Joan.
Goodness sakes.
And Miss Jones right here.
Yes. Well, I really wanted to talk a little bit about them because this is the only chance that we really can tell others about what our community is all about and the people that live here. And it's the people that make this community. And so I wanted to tell you that you really can't separate one from the other. This duo has been together since 9th grade in Swansboro High School. Now that's a real... They were married in 1967 after college, and they finally settled in the Robert Lee Smith house on Front Street in Swansboro, built by her grandfather in 1915. I guess that's what they call a native Swansboroian. But anyway, their historic home, as you know, overlooks the Swansboro Harbor, and the original fish house, also owned by Ann's family, is right across the street. I am getting nervous. I can't believe it. But anyway, we would like to say that you have been our mentor. You have been together building this historic association. And I remember going to the meeting when you all decided that you were going to reactivate it. And that was my very first meeting. And I've probably been a pain ever since then, but I've worked very hard watching and knowing what you have brought to this community. And there are places that people will never know. I think someone told me that you were instrumental, did you say it, about the walkway underneath the highway? Who would have thought of that? That's amazing. So we give you these flowers, and we thank you for your time and for giving us all the assistance to make this the special town that we live in. We love you.
I just wanted to say that the Historical Association did not nominate you, but we are behind it 100% and definitely believe that it should have happened a long, long time ago. If you do come to the Heritage Center, and you should if you haven't been, all of the research in there, all of the materials, all of the, the memories that were within the last several, generations, anyway, a couple of generations, Bob and Ann have been such a part of that and preserving that history too, through people like Daisy Moore and Tucker Littleton and other people. So, yeah, we can't say that enough. There's so much that they deserve this for, but as far as the historical element of it's concerned, it definitely couldn't be over there without them. No way. So thank you so much. You definitely deserve it.
Great big part.
Well, guys, I hate to stop. It has been great. Bob's like, I want to sit down. Thank y'all. We are so proud of you. We are proud to be a part of this, and y'all have been absolutely fantastic. And guys, let's one more time, huge round of applause for these guys. All right, and one of the things that this board, I'm going to be talking about this board in a minute, but one of the things that I appreciate about this board is their desire to recognize our students and our teachers, our educators. So it is my privilege to get to invite up Miss Kelsey Gerslin. And if I mess it up, please forgive me. Come on up. Melinda Worley. Okay. Bobby Joe Ramsey. She brought a cheering crowd. All right, so I have an assignment for y'all. Y'all have to cheer for all three. Okay. All right. So you may ask, why are we recognizing these teachers? And I think their principals or assistant principals are here. Principals and assistant principals, y'all please stand up if you represent one of these three. Thank you for your work. So if you guys, we have this 3-minute rule that I never follow, but I have to ask you to follow. In 3 minutes or less, if you could tell us or tell the audience why you got Teacher of the Year.
Well, I got it because I have a principal that trusts that I know what I'm doing, and he lets me kind of have free reign, and that showed in what I pour into my classroom.
Is that Mr. Guidry?
It was Mr. Mabry.
Mabry. Oh, okay, very cool.
I guess I have to say I have the love and support of my family and my coworkers, such as Miss Wilsey.
Ah, there you go. Well, this one must be you, Mr. Guidry.
Mr. Guidry's new this year, so I have the privilege of getting to know him. So he hasn't gotten to see all the things that I do, but I feel like maybe my colleagues have entrusted me with lots of different jobs, and just seeing the love that I have for my kids, and just helping to build school community by doing different jobs and different tasks. So it's always a privilege, and I'm glad to represent my school.
Excellent. Well, on behalf of the town of Swansboro, it's my privilege to tell y'all that we're proud of you. We do have a proclamation for you guys, and I'm excited to get to read that for you. And we did include Miss Erin Strashein, and she could not be here tonight. And she was with the high school. Whereas education is the cornerstone of a thriving and prosperous community, and the dedication of exceptional teachers shapes not only the minds of their students, but also the future of our society. Whereas Kelsey Gerslin, Melinda Worley, Bobby Joe Ramsey have gone above and beyond their commitment to fostering academic success, personal growth, and a lifelong love of learning in their students. I barely passed school, I'm doing great, okay. Reading is not my thing. Whereas these outstanding educators have earned the distinction of being named Teacher of the Year at their respective schools. Now, if you guys get teacher in the county, we need to know so we can bring you back, okay? It might happen. Okay. Or is that already passed? All right. Maybe next year. At their respective schools, reflecting their unwavering dedication, innovative teaching methods, and tireless efforts to inspire excellence. And whereas Kelsey Gerslin was identified by her peers as a dedicated educator who consistently inspires students through innovation and engaging teaching methods, has a deep commitment to their success. She is known for fostering a positive and inclusive classroom environment and in the role model for her students and colleagues. And whereas Melinda Worley was identified by her peers as one of the most positive and uplifting educators, showing resilience and determination even in challenging situations. Her compassion, accountability, and ability to inspire those around her make her a deeply admired by her colleagues and students alike. Oh, cool. All right, and let's see. And whereas Miss Bobby Jo, I love the way you spell your name. I think that's so cool. Bobby Jo Ramsey was identified by her peers for her student-first approach and as a forward-thinking educator who embraces new teaching strategies to help her students grow. And as a team leader for the 5th grade and coach of Odyssey of the Mind team, she is deeply committed to making a positive impact on her students' academic and personal development. Whereas the collective achievements of these educators serve as a shining example of the transformative power of education and the profound influence of dedicated teachers on future generations, now therefore be it resolved that we, the Swansboro Board of Commissioners, on behalf of the citizens of Swansboro, do hereby recognize Kelsey Gerslin, Melinda Worley, and Bobby Jo Ramsey for their extraordinary contributions to education and their well-deserved recognitions as Teachers of the Year at their respective schools. Be it further resolved that December 10th, 2024 has been proclaimed as Educators' Day of Excellence in Swansboro, North Carolina, a day to celebrate these inspiring teachers and to express our heartfelt gratitude for their dedication to shaping leaders, innovators, and citizens of tomorrow. Proclaimed this 10th day of December 2024. All right, now to the last one. I have a few more words to say. So Joe doesn't get on me about the microphone. I got the microphone, Joe. So we're going to turn the gavel over to Bill Justice here in a minute as our Mayor Pro Tem. It'll be my honor and privilege to do that. He's done a fantastic job as the Mayor Pro Tem and as a Commissioner. So I have a few words to say before we do that, so y'all bear with me. I think you will appreciate what I'm going to say. So first, thank you to the staff. Y'all have been fun to work with. You're hardworking. You're dedicated. Jacob, don't come to the county and ask for money. Yeah, I know, right? So I wanted to stop that in advance. You still can't come back here and ask for money because I'll come to the microphone. You can do it in Jacksonville? Okay. But staff, y'all have been wonderful. And to the new folks, Paul, Rebecca, Jacob, I mean, y'all came right in and got going and made us successful. Thank you for doing that. John, I don't know why you came back, but I'm glad you did. Thank you for what you've done, sir. To our advisory boards, I know we got a few advisory board members out here. Thank you for your service and what you guys do. To our volunteers, I don't know if we have any of those here. Certainly our Swansboro Historic Association volunteers a lot around town, and our teachers volunteers a lot. So to our volunteers, thank you for doing what you do for our town to keep it moving. We appreciate you. But I do want to brag on this board. I want to thank you guys. Thank you for letting me serve with you. Thank you for letting me serve you. Your accomplishments. Just a few I wrote down, but there's a lot more. Number one, you got elected. Well, you got appointed, Miss Back. But you three worked as hard as I've seen anybody work. And Jeff, you worked hard when you got elected. You three worked as hard as anyone I've ever seen work to win. You beat the odds. You beat the probabilities. Had Vegas been here and people voted on you, they would have made a lot of money. But you guys have not only did you win, you went to work. And that's what I appreciate about you guys. As much as I give Jacob a hard time about spending money, you guys stepped right up to the plate right out the gate with approving the purchase of future fire apparatus. You set in motion for a paramedic response team because it's something we needed to do. You didn't hesitate. You asked a lot of good and tough questions, but you made a decision and you moved forward. And even recently, you got our first responders long overdue raises. Money that we can't even give back to them that they should be getting back, but we don't have a way to do that. But you got them raises for the future. And that was a huge accomplishment that you guys did. And this is the one time that Jacob didn't ask for money. He asked to go get money. And you allowed him to institute the cost recovery program. And I think that was a really good idea and something that's going to help and benefit the town. One of the most things I appreciate you, and I mentioned this about the teachers, is your willingness to listen. We had almost 20 skateboarders, teenagers, sit right there in those first 2 rows, and you treated them like they were adults. And they responded like adults. You listened to them, you asked them good questions, and now you're even looking to keep your commitment to them to see if you can solve their problem. To me, that's honorable. You didn't brush them off. You didn't tell them to come back another day. You got surprised. There was 20 kids sitting here, and you're like, Mayor, what's going on? I said, hey, these kids need to talk to you. You said, bring them on. That's admirable that y'all would do that. Charleston Park. You know, one of the hardest things to do is keep a campaign commitment because you have to get the buy-in of 5 other commissioners. With Charleston Park, you kept your commitment. You got it done. The historic district. The historic chairs came to you with multiple issues that they needed help, and you stepped up. The Memorial Day and the Veterans Day services. You've started a tradition. Both of them are now 2 years old. Well done. We had the commander from the base come and speak at the Veterans Day service to Swansboro. And we have a lot of veterans that live in Swansboro, so please keep taking care of our veterans. But that's an accomplishment that you guys take credit for. You hired an outstanding town manager and an outstanding lawyer who have served us well. You made a good choice. You made a good decision. You were barely on the clock. And you had to sit down with these guys, read their resumes, understand who they were, and make a choice. And man, did y'all make a good one. Helena. There's not but so much we could do being this far away from the mountains, but what did you guys do? I'll tell y'all a quick story about Helena. And if y'all don't mind, I'm going to put a little spiritual touch to it. I felt the good Lord impressing on me that we needed as a town to do something for Helena. And I said, And I had a number in my head, and I felt the good Lord said, you keep your mouth shut. All your job is to call Joe, and you let Joe take it from there. And I'm like, I don't want to give it to Joe. God said, give it to Joe. So I gave it to Joe. I said, Joe, what do you think about this? He said, I like it. I said, well, how much money do you think we should give? And he gave a number, and I won't tell you what the number is, but it was a pretty decent number. And then I said, well, Joe, you want to call everybody and see what everybody's thinking? He said, I got it. We show up here. This guy, Jeff, raises the bar even more. And here we are. We were able to give $40,000 as a community to help our neighbors and our friends in the mountains, which directly impacted people here. Did you know that Paige Highsmith, her family lives there? We were able to impact her family. That's our principal at Swansboro Middle School. So good choice, good decision. Thank you. Operation Deploy Santa. Y'all remember voting on that little thing like 2 weeks ago? Do you realize that the letter that you allowed me to go to Sonia and get, and oh, by the way, Sonia left my name off the letterhead's first letter that went out. Miss Sonia. A day early. It was December 2nd. But anyway, do y'all realize that that letter is not only going to impact Swansboro, it is going to impact 4 or 5 other counties around Onslow County, as well as 3 to 4 more counties in western North Carolina, because of what you did, Walmart, in working with the Lancers, is providing enough toys to support multiple firehouses and police departments across this side of the world and in the mountains because of what you did. I think they deserve an applause for that one. Couple more. This one's been a little harder, but watching things from the back and trying to stay out of the middle of what you guys are doing is the public safety building. That's been tough, but in a year, you guys are making progress. You've taken ownership, you've driven, and you have loosened the reins to the people that can get the job done, and we believe that the job's going to get done here shortly. I wish I could give a time frame or a time stamp, but you guys are committed to getting that done, and you're showing and exercising the authority to get it done, and I appreciate that. Last but not least, and there's, like I said, there's more that I could compliment you guys on as a board. You became a team. Now, you're not one of those teams where everybody's got to vote 5-0 or everybody's got to vote 4-1. You became a team that could vote 3-2 and 3-2 the other way and 4-1 and still have a conversation in the back room to solve the next issue. Not once over this year do I recall anybody calling me up and saying, I can't believe Joe said this about Pat or Jeff said this about Bill. Instead, you worked together as a team. When you disagreed, you disagreed. You voted, and you moved forward to get the next thing done. I respect that. And Joe, I'm just going to give credit where credit's due. You were a very big part of making sure that the board was a team, and it wasn't 3 or 4-2 or whatever. And so hats off for taking that leadership. So the charge. Remember your beginnings. Remember the coffee shop bill. Joe, remember sitting in your house. Doug, remember in my shop, the third monkey. Jeff, remember on knocking on all those doors. Pat, you've been up here too long for me to remember the beginning. But remember your beginnings. Don't forget that you were just like everybody out there in the audience, just an everyday citizen. Remember the people. Remember the poor. And this is why I'm very proud of what y'all did with the Lancers. Don't forget that we have a 25% poverty rate in our area. Don't forget that we are the friendly city. Be slow to say no and quick to come with solutions. Keep that kindness, the respect, and be fair and balanced. And don't forget the people that campaign for you. Don't forget the work that they put in. Remember the why. Why did you run? Integrity in government, I believe I remember one of you. Maybe it was you, Doug, I believe. A fresh voice. Might have been you, Joe. Planned and managed growth. That might have been you, Bill. Frugality. Lower taxes. So I'm an everyday citizen now. Please lower the taxes. But remember the why you ran. Remember your values. Collaborate with each other, but don't compromise your values. Gentlemen and Pat, you thought I'd forget that, didn't you? Okay. You are not just commissioners. You guys are leaders. I just read a whole page of about 12 items demonstrating your leadership. Balance kindness with toughness. Be willing to break down barriers. Be strong when it's time for tough decisions. And darn it, get that EOC done. Bill, would you please come to the front? Back up a little bit. It is my privilege and my honor, sir, as the former mayor of Swansboro. Are you sure? I'm not, no. But it is my privilege and honor to pass on to you the gavel. That is a golden gavel. It is the honor to pass on to you the key of the city, and an honor to pass on to you the microphone. It has been a privilege of serving with you, and whether you stay mayor pro tem or become mayor, regardless, I know you're going to do an excellent job. Thank you, man.
Good job, Ryan. I just, you're good. Whatever you have a seat. Y'all, please be seated. And thank you so much for everybody coming out tonight. It's really an honor to act as Mayor Pro Tem while we go through the selection process for our mayor. We will probably make that decision next month, hopefully. We've been taking applications to get as many qualified people interested as we possibly can. And so it takes a majority vote of the board to pick out the new mayor. And then that will probably, we'll open up a commissioner seat. So it's something to be considered unless somewhere along the line we may vote to change the form of government, but that's a whole nother issue. But thank you so much. I take it as an honor and a privilege to serve as Mayor Pro Tem. Please understand that we're all very accessible to everybody out here. Our phone numbers, our emails are out in the lobby. They're online on our website. So that's enough said, and thank you so much for coming out, and I'll go back to my seat, and we'll start with the meeting. And if anybody would like to, y'all want to take a break, or you want to take a break? Let's take about a 5-minute break and let everybody relax, and if you want to come back, please feel free to come back. If not, then we'll see you around town. Thank you so much. Golden Gal. Lord. Lord, have mercy, Jeff. What? Yeah, you're more welcome. Hey, thanks. How you doing, man?
Tell you, if you see me standing up in the back of the room,
I see you limping. Are you okay?
I've got a bad back and back hip.
Oh, man.
Sit down right now, so
You're fine. Hey, I know I'm having this thing called a spinal cord stimulator put in Thursday. Did she like it? Yeah. The trial was great. Oh, man, don't tell me that. I got you just a little jar of peanuts over there for me. Huh? That's time. Yeah, you ready? Yeah, let's do it. You ready? I might have to gavel it hard. Yeah, I'm going to, I guess. Now, here they come.
Pat come up there, was talking to Ann and Bob. I looked.
I don't make any sense, huh?
Okay, hit that rap gavel. Get Doug. Yeah, make Doug move faster.
3 times?
Yeah, you're like a mayor in training.
Yeah, I am. I got the hall monitor over there. All right, so let's everybody take our seats and let's continue on with the meeting if we would, please. And John, thanks again for all your service to the town. Thank you so much. So now we're going to do with the Onslow County update, and Janelle Galloway with Onslow County. If you'd come, probably that podium would probably be better for you, and just tell us what you want to tell us about the county.
Yes, thank you so much. Good evening, Commissioners, Mayor Pro Tem, and Town Manager. My name is Janelle Galloway. I'm one of Onslow County's Assistant County Managers. Thank you so much for letting me come tonight. It's been a real pleasure to be here, to see how your meetings work and to enjoy the awards that you bestowed this evening. That was really neat to be a part of. The reason that I am here tonight is to communicate through your board and to the residents of Swansboro about what the county has been up to in the past year and share with you some of our board's accomplishments. Our Board of Commissioners is committed to improving communication between our county, our staff, our Board of Commissioners, and our municipalities. And they've also accomplished a lot of initiatives that enhance the lives of all county county citizens, to include those who live in Swansboro. So we wanted to share some of that with you. I'd like to begin going back all the way to January of this year, and that made it sound like my presentation is going to be very long. I promise I will be brief, but I'm going to start about a year ago almost. Our Board of Commissioners met, and in a retreat setting, they updated our county vision, which you see on the screen, to be the community of choice in coastal North Carolina. It's a very long and deliberate process to make sure that our county is living up to that vision and become the county of choice. But we're making some great strides and hope to keep the accomplishments going. The board at that same retreat in January identified 5 key strategic focus areas that you see here: being fiscally responsible, being a high-performing government, being the community of choice, being focused and sustainable in our future forward thinking, and promoting a healthy and safe community. It's important to make sure that as the board identified, as our county board identified these strategic focus areas, that what we thought, what they decided on was aligned with our community. So with that, we began the important work of developing a strategic plan to make sure that these areas of strategic focus reflect what our community needs from us. So in order to ensure that alignment and gather feedback, we began the process of a strategic plan, the first one that Onslow County has ever engaged in. And the first piece of that was project initiation and management. Basically, that step entailed providing our consultant with information that our board identified in that retreat, such as those strategic focus areas. Armed with that information, they began engaging with our community. They held stakeholder meetings. They held town hall type engagements with the public. They launched a significant social media campaign. There were TV ads, radio ads. There were even ads on the gas pumps as you're pumping gas to get the word out there, to get people involved so we could get their feedback and ask them to fill out the surveys. Moving forward, we are now in the strategic plan development stage and moving forward with implementation in the first part of next year. As a part of the strategic plan process, we conducted an environmental scan. The colors are not great for this. I apologize about that. The first question here that we're reporting out to you that the community responded to are what are some things that Onslow County government does well? The top 5 that are too difficult for you to read, I'll read them to you. The top is emergency preparedness and response, meaning our response to help the community in times of inclement weather crisis. Active parks and recreation services, passive parks and recreation services, veteran services, and library and cultural services. So those were the top 5. It's important to mention that the community felt we did these things well. They still want more of these things. We also asked, what are some things that the county can do better? And those top 5, I'll read to you as well. The first one is managing the pace of growth. I'm sure that you all hear that and feel that in the town of Swansboro. We hear it on repeat. We see it daily. And it's one of the reasons that we are leaning into our new comprehensive plan to address some of these concerns around the pace of growth. The second is providing services for youth, communicating services and benefits to the community and our residents, promoting community health and well-being, and promoting economic opportunities, businesses, and workforce development. The last one I'll share in regard to this is the top 5 things that Onslow County should prioritize in its strategic plan. The community said managing the pace of growth and development, again, a common theme, jobs and workforce development, mental health needs of residents, business environment and economic development, and public safety. So you'll notice that these environmental scan results really closely mirror those 5 strategic focus areas that I mentioned our board identified in January at their retreat. I realize that doesn't show well, and you may be interested in more information about the results of those environmental scan survey results. I'm happy to forward them to any of you who are interested. You can also find them on our website at onslowcountync.gov/strategic plan. Okay, fiscal year 25 accomplishments. Our board has done a lot in the past year. I would say this fiscal year has been devoted to being a year of planning for the future, planning ahead. Our Board of Commissioners right now is a very forward-thinking board, and they've accomplished a lot. They're preparing us for the future. So to name a couple of their accomplishments, we are currently, actually I'm briefing the board this week on our EMS system alternatives as a part of our EMS systems analysis. We recently opened our landfills phase 5 expansion. It is a really wonderful thing. It opened up another 5-year cell for counties to use. It expands the lifespan of our landfill to about 25 years. We were able to identify and utilize some property that the county already owned to increase DSS office capacity. And that's at our Center Street building. For, I think, the first time, JOED is engaging in a strategic plan of its own, and we're very glad to be a part of that to increase economic development in our county. Our Emergency Operations Center is expanding and due to open in the spring. We have another building being renovated, our multi-purpose building where senior services is, right down past the County Government Center. And we've also conducted Heinz Farm and Onslow Pines Park alternative analysis. I promise I'm nearing the end. Another thing that we have developed at our board's guidance is a set of core values. We call this our REACH program. We are reimagining everything that we do as county employees within the framework of these core values, REACH being an acronym for resilience, excellence, accountability, customer service, and honesty. It's our hope that in our community's interactions with our county employees, that our employees display these core values as they serve the public. We are launching a program, a movement, let me call it, revolving around this REACH program so that it becomes a part of everything we do, from onboarding and interviewing to department's mission statements, job descriptions, our personnel policies, you name it. We want this to be a part of everything that we do. And then lastly, you may have noticed that Onslow County has recently reimagined our branding. What you see up here is our new brand, our new logo. The reason that we did a refresh on this is that we're very aware that Onslow County is the youngest county. Our average age is lower than everyone else. And this younger population, it means that we need to change and make some adjustments in how we communicate to people, meet them where they are. And one of the things that we felt was important was to refresh with that in mind, the brand, so that we could kind of visualize that community of choice in coastal North Carolina. You'll notice that I had some help passing out some branded material for you so you can have things with our new county brand on it. And I really appreciate the opportunity to come and speak with you tonight and present some of our county commissioners' accomplishments. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much for the presentation. Does anybody have any questions? Doug, excuse me, Janelle. Doug has a question for you, please.
Janelle, thanks for coming tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
This is kind of going to dovetail with my public comment I made at the last county commissioners meeting. I'm just going to bring a couple of examples here. The EMS decision that was made earlier this year, even though the data didn't support that. What I mean by that is we had a higher response time than the adjacent areas of response for this area, and then you guys decided to take our EMS and move it outside the town limits, all right? The other one was I don't feel right now, you say you're trying for communication to the younger crowd, okay? What about the communication that happens between you and my town manager, the communication that needs to happen between your board and our board, okay? That, get me if I'm wrong, but I don't think anybody's up here has had personal communications or things that impacted the decision the county was going to make. They made it, and then we basically live with it. This kind of relationship, to me, isn't what I call fully integrated, nor is it fully supporting. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be, maybe it sounds harsh to you, but I'm calling it as I see this, okay? And I've been in this job a year, and I've only had one communication to one of your board members, and it was a welcome aboard, and that commissioner attended our induction onto this commission or our appointments. So my question is to you is if I can get your help. I need your help. I need you to talk to my town manager, and I'd like to see some things specifically like integrated workshops that happen at least 3 to 4 times a year quarterly between all the municipalities, or just a representative from our board that can go up there and represent our feelings and the decisions that you're about to make for the future. So we can get some buy-in on the process. We can communicate. It opens government, it makes it transparent, and you hear from us of how this decision could impact us both positively and negatively. This is what I like to call transparency, integrity of government. You saw up there, one of your pillars was honesty. Honesty to me is integrity, and it means openness. So I'm saying be open to us. I'm saying invite us on board, and I think you're going to hear from some pretty smart people we've got on our board and other municipality boards up there that can help guide this vision we have. And here's just one thing, and I'm going to give credit to John here on this one. Imagine what it would be like if you were Steve Lazara or young Wyatt Gable, and you're trying to take care of your constituency, but you're only hearing from the county seat. But you're not hearing from the municipalities that surround that county seat, or they're not active in it. Or imagine an integrated plan that we bring forward, but it requires some infrastructure expenditures from the legislature to make these things happen. You don't know about the problems I think that we have in our municipality as well as you could, and therefore we could come up with solutions, but those solutions are probably going to run to some resources. And if we all were aligned going into that representative's office or that senator's office, guess how much more success we could have if we brought them an integrated plan that says, hey, and I'll bring this up, there's a large construction project that's slated for 24 out here across from Maysville. You know something? Without the infrastructure, that's going to bring the quality of life down for Swansboro. So I'm going to end it there, but I want to thank you for coming out and thank you for listening to me rant for 3 to 5 minutes.
I think the answer to your question is yes, I'm happy to help. And I would like to. I will take your feedback.
Pat, Joe, you got anything? Anybody else have any questions? Well, I know, John, you're meeting with Mr. Smithman. Don't you meet with him? So that's a good line to open up the communication that Doug's talking about, sure. Yeah, that'd be good. All right, thank you so much for coming out, and look forward to working with y'all. Okay, so now we're at the part where we have the fiscal year 23-24, where Mr. Gregory Redmond is going to give us our financial report, our audit report. So thank you so much for coming down from Tarboro, North Carolina.
Good evening. So I think we have a slide presentation, and you also have a copy of the audit report with you. The audit report is 92 pages. I've tried to summarize that in 9 slides. So we'll start. So the first one is number page 1 of the audit report. So these are the financial statements and the independent audit report for the year ended June 30, 2024. This one paragraph basically summarizes the whole report. It's an unmodified opinion, which means, in my opinion, these financial statements are presented fairly in accordance with general Suffolk County principles. What that means is there are no material findings, no material departures from GAAP. And the Local Government Commission has recently put out quite an extensive workbook on financial performance indicators of concern. And Swansboro passed all those tests. We do an audit for 30 towns, and not many go unscathed without any issues. The town of Swansboro is in good financial position, and we're going to talk about those coming up. So, phase one, and can you hear me? Talk right? Okay. Let's raise a little bit. There we go. I'll talk into it. Excuse me. Okay, page one, or next slide. This is the balance sheet of the major funds of the town. Kind of small to read, but I'll talk about them. So the first column is your general fund. That's the main fund of your town. We have cash, and again, these are numbers as of June 30, 2024. Unrestricted cash in the bank, in the general fund, just over $5 million. We have restricted cash of $179,000, which is made up mostly of your Powell Bill Street fund. The other number we'll talk about here, and we'll talk about a little more in detail in just a little bit, is the third number from the bottom in that column, and that's your unassigned fund balance. That's the amount of fund balance available to be spent. As of June 30, 2024, that's in good position. And again, we'll talk about the basic numbers on those in just a minute. The other two columns are separate funds. Second column is your state capital infrastructure fund, just over $6 million at the end of the year that you had still to spend on your various infrastructure projects. And the third fund is about 10 of your small capital project funds, mostly made up of your capital reserve and the state capital infrastructure fund on the sidewalk project coming up. This one is your income and expenses of the town for those three funds we just talked about. We'll just focus on the general fund again. The general fund total revenues, just right at $6 million for the year. Your total expenses, just over $5 million, about $5.2 million. So your revenues over expenses for the year were just under $800,000. That's why the increase in your fund balance. The other two funds pretty much break even. The third column is mostly your ARPA funds that you finished up spending for the year. I mentioned your fund balance, and that's what we're going to talk about here. We can read this. So your unassigned fund balance, $3.8 million. Your total expenditures, $5.2 million. So your unassigned fund balance was 74% of your annual expenditures. The LGC recommends 34%. Towns of similar size, Swansboro, are 63%. So with 74%, again, your general fund is in good financial position, as I mentioned earlier. What did something a little different this year? So you did increase your budget for the 24-25 year. New projects. We have sidewalk project, and we got a new back truck, I believe it's there we're going to spend quite a bit of money on. So even if we didn't increase our revenues for the year, the current assigned fund balance is still over 51% of next year's expenditures. So again, still well above the Local Government Commission recommended. You do have what's called proprietary funds, business funds. That's your stormwater fund, your solid waste fund. Those funds are basically just supposed to support themselves without any assistance. And I'll skip the page myself. So cash in the bank for stormwater funds, $163,000, solid waste, $228,000. And both of those second line from the bottom, your unrestricted net positions are again $200,000 and $150,000, so in good financial position. The one I really want to talk about, I guess, is the next page, and that's the income and expenses. Again, they're supposed to support themselves. And if we look in the middle of the page, we're really the third line from the bottom. Change in that position, that's your net income, if you will. So we have $85,000 profit in your stormwater fund. And even though we show a $6,000 loss in the solid waste fund, that includes $45,000 of depreciation, which is a real number. You have to replace your various assets. But again, pretty much supporting themselves, and that's what they're meant to do. In the notes, we have long-term liabilities. So we have total debt, liabilities, first line, right at a little over $900,000. We had a new loan for the year for, I believe it was a tractor and a dump truck, $254,000 increase. The other lines we'll mention, the total pension liability, that's for your law enforcement officers, and the net pension liability, that's for the rest of the employees. That's the amount of money that's already been sent into the state. See, $79,000 and $1.6 million for retirement for the employees. And then your OPEB liability, that's the health insurance for your retirees, which is actuarial valuation at $372,000 at the end of the year in the governmental activities. Property taxes. I've stood up here several years and talked about property tax percent collections, and I know the county collects them for you, but when you collect all of your property taxes, it speaks well for the town people, and it also helps your fund balance, your general fund. So your collection percentage is 98.74%. That's a good percentage. We see a lot of 90, 92%. That hurts the budget quite a bit. The last thing I'll talk about for any questions, because you receive grants, we talked about, we have a separate audit, which you have to look at the grant requirements, laws and regulations and compliance with those. And again, the last line, the results of my test disclose no instances of noncompliance with any of those grants. So basic summary, good financial position, general fund, almost $800,000 increase for the year, good percentage of general fund expenditures, and your business type activities are supporting themselves. We don't have any recommendations, no changes in internal control. Again, I mentioned the financial performance indicators are all good. Any questions?
Okay, thank you so much, Susan. Pat, do you have any questions for Mr. Redmond? Yeah? Doug?
I'd just like to say this is just a direct reflection on Sonia. Fabulous job that she does. Thank you.
And yeah, I'd like to just add, what this is 20, yeah. This is 28 years in a row. I think the town's come in with an excellent report. So thank you so much for all the hard work. I know all you guys work hard on it, so thank you so much for that. And thank you, Mr. Redmond. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to add one more thing. That sets us up for a decision, I think, now, doesn't it, Sonia? And I think I've got some partners here on the board that are willing to make that decision if you want to make it according to your schedule, or are we prepared to make it tonight? Okay, next time.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, thank
and
you.
Hope you have safe travels back to Tarboro. And you're going to get some seafood, right? He's not even paying attention. All right, so let's move on now to John Barlow with the GFOA Award.
Mr. Justin,
Oh, geez, speak to the devil.
you stole my thunder
Oh,
a second ago. Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
at 28 years. Just last month, we got the notification that the Government Finance Officers Association notified the town that we were awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. So what you heard from Mr. Redmond, the main thing I think really, well, other than the good numbers, the good report, he said unmodified opinion and no material weaknesses. He found no findings. So what will happen is we'll submit this report to GFOA for their certification for that 29th year. So our audit report for 22-23 received the highest award that you can get in local government finance reporting. So what it's saying is they're accurate and they're complete, so that if you read our audit report anytime for the last 28 years, they're with the most confidence that what you're seeing really reflects reality. And and for a town our size, that says a lot. You know, Sonia's been your finance director for about, 11 years, but that says a lot for your previous finance directors too, that they were able to manage your funds in a way that meets those standards that GFOA expects of all towns, whether it's Swansboro or Raleigh. They hold us all to the same standards, and to accomplish that 28 years in a row is quite an accomplishment. Here's your finance staff, right here.
I do. I couldn't do it without her. I just couldn't. So together, we're a team, and when we get it done, whether we're here till 10 o'clock at night, it gets done, and that's how it gets done. So, because we love the town of Swansboro. Ashley's not going anywhere.
All righty, so we're going to move now to the board appointments, and Ms. Fender is going to present that to us.
Good evening. You do have a revised agenda memo updating you on some changes to those interested in seeking and not seeking reappointment. We have term expirations on the Planning Board, the Tourism Development Authority, and the Parks Board. First up for the Planning Board, we have 3 seats for reappointment. Mr. Seaton is the only one of the 3 who wishes to seek reappointment. Mr. Vanoy and Clara Abelos are both choosing not to seek reappointment to allow chances for other individuals to serve on our Planning Board. There are 6 applications on file to consider for appointment to the Planning Board. Do you want to take care of a board at a time?
Yeah, is it okay to just let's go through all the board appointments needed and then make a vote all at one time, or do you want to do each board individually?
We do them all at one time.
Okay. Do we need a motion for that?
Yeah. Okay. I'll just continue. For our Tourism Development Authority, we have 3 seats to consider for reappointment. Of the 3 seats, Mr. Brown is choosing not to seek reappointment, and Mr. Hernakowitz and Randy Swanson are both seeking reappointment. There are 3 applications on file for a TDA for interested citizens. On the Parks Board, there are 3 in-town seats to consider for reappointment. Debbie Hernakowitz and Lawrence Abelos are both not seeking reappointment, and Jennifer Steele does have interest in reappointment. The ETJ seat on the Parks Board is currently vacant. We do not have any applications on file for any ETJ representatives. There are 5 applications on file for town residents for the Parks Board. We could begin with the Planning Board for Planning Board appointment considerations.
Okay, yeah, Pat, go ahead.
I'm concerned we don't have enough applications to choose from. I don't know how the rest of the board feels about tabling this until January and have an advertisement go out for volunteers for these boards.
Yeah. Anybody else have any discussion about that?
Well, I do have a question. Can individuals serve on 2 boards?
Yes.
I thought that was really good.
There is dual appointment available for appointed seats. 2 is the max.
So I'm in agreement with Pat. I think we need a little bit, I hate to table things. I'm really not about tabling things, but I'd like to see if we can get a few more applicants in and then make a decision on anybody. How do you feel that way, Jeff? Okay, could I get a motion to table it?
So moved.
Okay, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, so the ayes have it, so we'll table it until January. Okay, and hopefully if you'll post that online and anything we can do to help, facilitate that, please let us know.
The applications are available all the time on our website. We send it out periodically through our constant contact. However, that reaches a very large group of people that are not even inside our community. They may live outside of our community but are interested in what we put out, and we do put it out through Facebook. Word of mouth is always a good way.
So now we've got the East Carolina Council appointment, and if I read correctly, they meet in New Bern, and our representative would meet every quarter in New Bern, if I understand that correctly.
Correctly,
Yep,
yes.
Okay.
And so the ECC is looking for a member of the board to be appointed to that seat for the 2025 year.
So right now, we don't have anybody in that
No.
position, right?
We have not been a member of the ECC. We are just now redoing our membership with them. It was refunded this year.
Any discussion on that with the board?
Your opinion on it?
Do we have to nominate somebody tonight for that position?
John has shared that it can also be a staff or a board member
Oh, okay.
for this
So-
appointment.
Okay, with that, how would you feel about leaving that open to
Well,
fill?
I think with that new bit of information, we can take that in and then make the appointment in January.
And make it available to any staff member that may not know about it? Do you think that's a fair way to do it, or an appropriate way? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Can we get some information? I don't even know what this is. Is this similar to the league? No.
Is it kind of, it's almost, lack of a better way of putting it, almost like a regional chamber of commerce sort of development and. A lot of functions.
I believe they do a lot of training too. That's where the ethics training was given if you went in person. But they do offer some training on the topics you said.
David Bone presented to the board earlier this year. We can resend out his presentation for information again.
Have we heard from them as far as our presentations? I mean, last year, Lisa, you were putting together a bunch of organizations that would come before us and tell us what they were about, what motivates them, what they advocate for. Have we heard from them at all?
These guys did earlier this year.
Yeah.
That's the presentation I can send to you guys that they did earlier this year.
Okay.
Okay, so we don't have a public hearing, so now I guess it's still up to you to present the meeting schedule.
Yes, we've prepared the 2025 meeting schedule to continue as the second Tuesday and the fourth Tuesday of every month. Your meeting schedule for 2025 would not include a meeting on the second Tuesday of October and November due to those dates falling near or on a town event or holiday. And we are looking for a motion to adopt the 2025 regular meeting schedule for the Board of Commissioners.
Okay, do I have any discussion on that? A motion to approve? A second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we'll keep the same schedule then.
Yes, sir.
And
Been working.
yeah, been working pretty good, it seems like. Does that give you guys enough time keeping it on Tuesday like that, or are you guys good with that still?
Yes, it's good.
Okay. All right. So now it's Miss Sonia's turn. Again.
All right. You have the clicker? Right here. All right. So per the U.S. Treasury's final rule, the period of performance states that all ARP monies must be obligated by December 31st, 2024, and expended by December 31st, 2026. As of now, we have two previously approved expenditures, the drinking fountain and the commercial toilets, remaining obligated. Staff assures that these expenditures will be obligated by the deadline of December 31st, 2024. After these obligations, approximately $10,000 in funds will remain. Staff requests that the Board of Commissioners authorize the town manager to decide the allocation of these remaining funds. The town manager recommends prioritizing the purchases as follows. The first is the panic button that we talked about in a previous meeting. A plotter printer has been since I've started here, which everybody can use, all departments. And if that doesn't work, then the third would be finding something that we can, that he feels is necessary to purchase before the December 31st, 2024 deadline, because we don't have another meeting, so it wouldn't be. So the motion to approve authorization for the town manager to allocate the remaining, and I want to take out the $10,000 because it may come a little bit more. I don't know that, but just the remaining funds according to the outline priorities, if possible.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right. So now we're back to Alyssa.
Right. So we will have the addition of board appointments and the ECC appointment to your list of January agenda items. I've grouped them together because they could fall on either of the dates. You will have your budget schedule adoption for the next fiscal year. Appointment consideration for the vacant mayor seats. Deadline for the mayor applications is the 15th of December. We will have 2 public hearings, a rezoning for a parcel on Hammocks Beach Road from RA to B1, and a UDO text amendment related to fences and walls in the historic district. The fire department will give their monthly update, and we will also receive our monthly financial report. Were there any items that you wish to see brought for the January meetings?
Anybody have anything they'd like to add to the future agenda items? No? Doug, do you have something? Thinking. Jeff or Pat? Okay, just give us just a second. You good, Doug? Okay. All right, thank you so much. So we don't have anything to move from consent. So we'll go to public comments now. And Miss Natalie Sargent, if you'd come and state your name and address, either one that you feel more comfortable at.
Good evening. My name's Natalie Sargent. I live at 185 Leslie Lane here in Swansboro. And I'm just here to talk about the Flying Bridge development. And I mean, I'll start with, I know we can't stop progress, but I'm just curious of a plan. I'm somebody that uses this road every day, multiple times a day, this little stretch from Queens Creek to Belgrade. And already the traffic is crazy. So, you know, the time to problem solve is not when we have more traffic, it's now. So I'm just curious as like what our plan is. Is anybody besides the developer planning to do a traffic study? Because they did their traffic study and, you know, this is DOT, but they can't, they want the schools in session, so they can't do their traffic study after May. We get our heaviest traffic in July. I mean, frankly, like, why hasn't stuff already been put in place to alleviate traffic and accidents in that little section? Coming out of Food Lion, so again, you know, I'm Dee's Flowers, right across from Food Lion. There's the 2 exits. You know, why isn't this first exit of Food Lion and Burger King right turn only? You've got people coming out making lefts. I mean, it gets real hectic. School gets out. Starting in the 2025 school year, this Flying Bridge development wants to use the Belgrade-Swansboro Road as an entrance to their development of 324 units. Well, we're going to have school traffic down that road now. If there's an accident there, you're already in gridlock. You can't, what are you going to do? How are you going to get around it? Wait till Labor Day when we have visitors that we need in our town. That's how we make our money. And then, what else was I going to say? And who's servicing this? Because this is ETJ. So like, is this like when there is an accident or when they're like, so on my road, like if the cops are coming, it's the sheriff. Like, is this Swansboro? Is this shit? Like what is that plan? I have lots of questions. I could keep rambling, but I think that's a good start. And yeah, I appreciate your time.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for the comment. We all are very aware of the concerns for that area, and we're all looking at it very closely. It's just in the application process right now, so it hasn't even come to the planning board.
Oh yeah, I'm
yeah.
stirring the pot.
And
I'm very, very curious, and I like our town. I like our city. Like I said, I know we can't stop progress, but if we don't think about how to do it, I mean, who's going to want to come visit when you can't even get into town?
Right. Anybody have anything they want to add?
The problem of infrastructure is not going to get solved just by these 5 people. It's going to have to be solved with a team effort between us, the Onslow County Board of Commissioners, and our state legislature.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that highway belongs to the state at the end of the day. There's a couple things we've done, put some stuff in action, reprioritized the sidewalk that will connect the schools back to where the sidewalks already exist. Hopefully, that will reduce some of the folks that feel the need to drive their kids to school, and maybe they can walk their kids to school, or they ride their bikes to the school like I did when I was a kid. And just those them with small things we can do. The bigger problem, though, like I said before, and I kind of tasked the assistant manager from the county, is that we need to make some decisions on what this infrastructure, integrated infrastructure plan should look like, not just at the county seat level, but down here at the municipalities as well. And I've talked to the municipality leaders out there, I've been calling them around this week. They saying the same thing I do. They're seeing cracks in their infrastructure as well with the rapid growth that's coming. The project you're talking about would put, in my neighborhood, it's about 100 acres for 75 properties. That's 39 acres, and they want to put 350 families into it. That's 4 times what my neighborhood looks like right now.
Yeah, and it's just renters. So like when we want school levies, like, I mean, not every renter doesn't vote the way we want a homeowner to, but like that's totally different, and it's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's like I can call DOT, but it's going to sound better coming from commissioners, our town commissioners, our county commissioners. Like, we have a problem. How are we going to fix it? We need solutions, not, yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Well, thank you so much, and we are aware, and I'm sure we'll address it and try to help where we can. And, you know, you and I have talked, and so I'm willing to keep the lines of communication open so we can see the pulse of what people are feeling out there.
Okay. Well, thank you. I look forward to hearing the plan. Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much. Okay, Rianne Ash, are you here? Did I pronounce that right? Ryan. Okay, sorry. If you'd come over, either one you like, probably more comfortable over there, and state your name and address.
My name's Ryan Ash. I live at 229 Marchand Court right here in Swansboro. My main point is, after listening to it, I've never been to something like this, so excuse me my ignorance, but it does have to do with the same thing that the previous woman was speaking about. Working in construction, I don't know if you guys are able to bring questions or bring ideas to the people that actually take care of, like you said, the state take care of the highway.
Sir, can you speak into the microphone a little bit better? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
My apologies. My thing is just if there is ways to actually address the issues as far as if we're going to build a development and then address the road later. You know, I know coming from, I work in utilities. I work in things like building roads, laying water lines, storm drain, sewer. If questions such as things of they're going to put all these new homes in do the current lines or the current utility lines, do they provide the volume needed as far as water, sewer to drain, or anything? Is that stuff that's taken care of already? That is it too late once they build this stuff? Is it actually gonna be able to work? Working in downtown Jacksonville and seeing how they're trying to renovate now and the troubles that they run into, that's just not something I want to see this town run into. Living here for the past 10 years. Yeah, I don't know how this stuff works, but I just don't know if I could pitch any ideas or any questions that, or how y'all can address or speak to the state. Is that something y'all are in the power position to do as far as addressing the town and state, or the state, I should say, as far as going about these projects and how they can maybe address them first? I mean, the growth isn't going to stop and the money is not going to stop flowing, but if we can address it to the right places first. That's all I got.
Okay. Yeah. All right, thank you so much for your comment. Anything we can do for you, just please let us know, okay? Brandon Rivas? Oh, all right.
Good evening.
And state your
sorry.
name and address. I'm sorry.
Brandon Rivas. I live at 142 Lee Rogers Road, so not in Swansboro, but Hubert resident. Both of these people, Natalie and Ryan, both kind of stated what I'm here to say as well. And without repeating everything they both said, my question is basically school-wise, and more so on the infrastructure side, like schools, and trying to account for the influx of people that are coming in. Is there anything? I know I see you guys have I think the transportation plan of 2025 and redoing the bridge on Queens Creek. I think my question is how are we going to account for all that, especially with the bridge going down? Is there going to be a temp bridge going up, or is it all going to be ran all the way back around to the 172 and out that way? Especially with that development going down to Queens Creek right after the marathon. It's just a big spark of concern, I think, for the community. I know there's a petition going on for like 1,000+ votes, and everybody's kind of worried on, how this is going to play out. And obviously, January 17th, I believe, is the date on which they come and propose the plan. So, without repeating everything they kind of just said, I'm kind of up here for the same reason. It's a real concern for the community and the town, especially during events. I think there's planning to bring in, 17, almost a fifth of the population in just those apartment buildings alone. So I just wanted to come up here and make my voice heard, because you talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. So here I am.
And that's a good point, and thank you for bringing that up, for coming and commenting. We encourage people to come and speak their piece and their mind. Unfortunately, a lot of the roads, or most of the roads that we're talking about, are state projects, and so we have little control over it. We do have a committee we belong to. It's the Jacksonville Urban Metropolitan Planning Organization that handles some of that, but the funding seems to be limited, from what I understand. But we could pass along to that group and other groups to try to see what we can find out to help.
Okay, thank you guys. And then
Anybody else have, Doug?
I'm impressed by the people that came out here tonight to talk about this topic. And I want to continue to talk to your peers out there, get them to come say what their opinion is on this as well.
Of course.
And from what I understand, there might be a petition circulating around as well. I think they've got about 1,000 signatures on it right now, from what I've heard. So I hope that you tell folks both about the petition and coming to see us as commissioners.
Yeah, heck yeah, it's a testament to the younger generation as well. I'm only 23 myself, but it's coming out here, and to Ann and Bob, who just got that reward. It's my first time as well with Ryan. So to see that, it's up to the younger folk too to come in here and voice our opinions as well. So want to do what's right for the town of Swansboro. So
you got something, Jay?
I'd just like to say, young man, you're the fifth person I've seen attend one of these meetings and speak on this topic. As I said, there's not a lot. We're a long way from putting a spade in the ground on this project. If you need to be heard, the County Board of Commissioners, Mr. Davis, that just left here, Department of Transportation, Board of Education, don't let all those boards, I don't mind you coming here and beating up on us. That's fine. But don't let those people off the hook.
No.
Because those are the movers and shakers that can make something happen in that area.
Thank you for that. Trust me, I think I plan on going to the evening meeting for the Onslow County Commissioners, I believe, is the 17th of December. So I'll try to make it to that, whatever work can account for and stuff like that. So thank you, guys.
And there was a lady that spoke at the last county commissioners meeting exactly about what you're talking about. So the more they hear it, the more
Exactly.
reaction.
Exactly. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, it's John Barlow's turn. You got comments, John?
Just one quick update on the Bicentennial Park Downtown Water Improvements Project. It's something we've been working on for about 4 years. Well, the last couple of weeks, the contractor, Carteret Marine, mobilized. You may have seen all their equipment and supplies down there on the waterfront working on the dock walk project. They've started driving piles. You may have seen that. They haven't run any issues yet, so we don't see any reason why they won't complete the project by the February 14th, which is their project completion date according to the contract. We have until about the end of April before our grant deadline runs out, so we have a little bit of room in case something happens, but I see no reason they probably won't be done in a couple of weeks.
Anybody have any questions for John? All right.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you so much. All right, board comments? Pat?
I appreciate everyone coming out, just as Doug had said, and speaking the way you feel about the project. As Bill said, that we're a long way off. My understanding is that they're going to have to ask for a change in the land use plan, then they have to go to the planning board, and then they have to come to us. So it's a long way off, but the more that we hear about it, the better it's going to be. Sonia, thank you very much for everything you do for the last 11 years and 28 years for the town. That's a real honor. Thank you so much. And staff, thank you so much for what you do.
Jeff?
Yeah, I'll just, everything has pretty much been said. Don't forget about this when you leave tonight. I mean, pay attention when it comes up to the planning board down the road, go to the planning board meeting. When it comes back here, come back here. If you hear it's being talked about at the county, go there. Feel free to write your state legislators. Let them know what's going on too. So just, if you want to make a change, it's going to take all of us doing that, because a couple doing that, it's not going to work due to a lot of the legalities involved and what we can do and what we can't do. So I'm glad you guys came. Glad you came in. We need to hear this stuff. Unfortunately, not that many people come up and do that. All of us up here, like Joe said, just say it. We'll take it. Better than not talking at all. Nobody here is going to, I think, go off on anybody, and it's your right. Especially you elected these people sitting up here. They need to hear what you have to say. Staff, thank you. Everything great as usual. The party last week was great, outstanding. Thank you. And that's it.
All right, Doug?
Thank you for coming out, guys. I can't imagine the number of hours that went into this and the hard work. But you know something, this isn't just preparing the report. It happens all year. Hours and hours, minutes, saying that it's on you. You keep your pencils very, very sharp back there, I imagine. And the amount of work that goes into creating, you don't create a good report overnight or in 1 month. You create it all year long. Okay? I want to just say to the Schulers, Bob and Ann, they are fantastic. They're a fantastic legacy for us to follow. They're role models in our community. That award probably should have been due a decade or two ago on everything that they've accomplished and how they impacted this community. And it's they're two of the reasons as individuals that we choose to live here, because the legacy they leave for us, the hard work that goes into that, and the dedication. And looking toward the future, Mayor Pro Tem, Bill Justice, I look forward to your leadership. You, Joe, you, Pat, you, Jeff, okay? It's been an honor and a privilege to serve with you guys. I think we're blessed with the staff we have, and that shows. The long list that John read off tonight, you know, I think it was a lot of common sense, and I think those decisions were easy because of the staff we have that presents the information to us, that has the answers when we ask. And that must be incredibly hard to do, to try to get in the heads of these 5 individuals up here to have I guess what I'm looking for, you're not reactive, you're proactive to our decisions. You've gotten to know us very, very well. And I appreciate that very, very much. Okay? And God bless everybody for showing up tonight. Thank you. And I guess God's looking out for us. So let's remember to hit our knees once in a while too, and thank you.
Okay. Thank everybody for coming. Staff, usual, great job. Sonia, fabulous. It was a good night of recognition for a lot of people that were deserving. Thank the public for coming. You people, remember, this coming November of 25, there's 3 seats available on this board and a mayor available. So if you don't like what you're seeing, get your game on and make a change. All right? That's all I got. Thank you.
All right, well, I don't really have anything to say because it's all been said.
There you go.
Yeah, but congratulations, Sonia. It's 11 years you've been doing it, so, you know, that's a great job, too. When we ran, I know the 3 of us, and I'm sure Pat and Jeff did the same thing, community involvement's the key, and it's nice to see people like the Priorities, everybody, Cynthia Jr., everybody that's here. And so encourage your friends to come out, please. Nothing makes us feel any better than to have a full room and I know it's boring to sit through this whole meeting and the process, but it is important. And it's important to voice your opinion. So thank you so much. And for the committee members and the people that want to step up and help lead the community, thank you so much for that too. So with that, we have to go into a closed session. Do we need to end the regular session to do that? Okay, just get a motion. Okay, so now we're going to go to the North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11, Section A, number 3, to consult with an attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorney and the public body, which privilege is hereby acknowledged, and to establish or to instruct the public body staff or negotiating agents concerning the position to be taken by or on behalf of the public body in negotiating the price and other material terms of a contract or proposed contract for the acquisition of real property by purchase, option, exchange, or lease. So do I have a motion to enter closed session? A second? All in favor? Aye. All right, we're going to go into closed session. I don't think there'll be anything to report afterwards. I need to gavel that out. All right, so we're back from closed session, and there's nothing to report. So at this time, I'd like to, anybody give a motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, adjourn. No discussion. We had discussion already. I know. I got a golden gavel. What are you talking about? That's John. I have to give back to John. What do I do with